Welcome to Agrazia's virtual studio. My name is Amanda. I am a 500-hour certified Pilates instructor and FRC mobility specialist. Today, we're going to just be addressing the hip joint capsule, but I do want to offer a friendly reminder that the body is a system, and if you're really struggling with hip mobility, there could be other areas of the body that we need to address to kind of help balance everything out. So just keep that in mind. We're going to start sitting down. You don't need a mat, but just make sure you're comfortable on the floor, and then we are going to be using the wall as well. All right, so getting started here with our knees bent out in front of us, our feet can be slightly wider than our hips, and our hands are just back as comfortable as, or as back as they need to be to feel comfortable. And then we're going to sway the knees gently side to side, just to start introducing some movement and rotation in the hips. But it doesn't have to be a huge movement. We're just assessing and warming up here. And then we're gonna walk our feet out a little bit wider, and we're gonna start to add a little bit more range. So bringing that knee, trying to go all the way down to the floor, and then lifting it back up to come back to center. Other knee is going to reach down to the floor. This is your internal rotation. And then coming all the way back up. Dropping that other knee down in front of you. If you're feeling a lot of restriction here, then just ease into it. You don't need to force anything. We're just taking some passive movement here to start. Okay. Now we're gonna make our way into a 90-90. So you're gonna drop that knee down in front of you, and you're gonna roll all the way over onto that opposite hip. So we're looking for a 90-degree bend at the hip and then at the knee in both legs. Your free hand is going to be on that hip that's in front of you, and we're just gonna oscillate here, rolling the pelvis forward, and then thinking about reaching your sit bone down into the mat. Rolling forward, and rolling back. So it may help to visualize how that femur bone, your leg bone, is moving around in the socket. So it's kind of just rotating back and forth there. Let's take one more rolling forward and then one more rolling back. Again, just easy movement. Open that knee up, and we're going to make our way over to the other side. So dropping the other knee out in front of you, rolling all the way over onto your other hip. Free hand is on that working hip, and you're going to rock it forward and rocking back. Just kind of noticing what you're feeling. If you're feeling more restriction, maybe on the outer side of the hip, the inner side of the hip, kind of where that restriction is, and kind of assessing how much range you have through these movements. We're going to take one more rolling forward and rolling back. Great. All right, bringing that knee up, and then we're going to turn around to face the wall, and we're going to put our feet on top, or not on top, but up against the wall. So if you can reach those heels up against the wall, that's best. Otherwise, toes are pressing in and your heels are just energetically reaching into the wall. Hands are going to go down underneath your thighs, and you're going to roll backwards until your arms straighten out. And then if you can float the arms and control yourself all the way down, we're going to make our way to the mat. Okay, then we're going to shift forward so that you can put your feet on the wall at a 90-degree bend at the hips and then a 90-degree bend at the knees. All right, so starting off here, we're actually going to do a little hamstring activation. So hands are pressing down into the mat, and without actually moving your feet on the wall, I want you to think about tugging your heels down towards your seat. So just enough to activate the hamstrings, but not enough to move the feet down. And then you're going to release that. Connecting that with our breath, we're going to exhale, drive the heels down. You're not moving anything yet, just activating the hamstrings, and then inhale, release. One more time. Drive the heels down, and inhale, release. Now, this time we're going to press the heels down, and you're going to take this into a posterior tilt. So imagine you have a bowl of water on your low belly. You're going to try to spill the bowl of water towards you, rolling your hips off of the mat just enough to where we're just working the backs of the legs still. So we want to try to actually keep the glutes relaxed here. The front of the hips relaxed, the abs are relaxed even, and we're isolating the hamstrings. So you're just in a hover, not too high, ribs are still heavy on the mat. Let's take one more breath here, and then roll all the way back down. Now, making sure we're not trying to push the wall away from us, because that's going to get us into our quads, and we're really trying to connect more in the back here. So let's try that one more time. You're going to exhale, drive the heels down, using only the hamstrings to roll the hips off the mat. And we're holding here for 2 more breaths. Shoulders relaxed. I had to check myself there. One more. And then slowly roll all the way down. Okay, great. So that helps us get a little bit more access into the glutes if we're like really tense there. And then giving them an opportunity to relax so that we have a little more access later when we're trying to actually stretch and activate them. All right, so now we're going to work on some internal rotation. You're going to take your right foot and just hover it off the wall. Both hands are going to come right on the front of your knee, like kind of on the thigh part. And then on your exhale, you're going to drive your knee into your hand and your hand into your knee. So you're finding a little activation there. You're going to keep the knee right over the hip, and all you're doing is bringing your foot out away from your midline to get you into that internal rotation. And just find whatever end range you have right here, and you're going to slowly come all the way back in. So as long as we're adding load and effort, then we're communicating to the hip that these muscles need to be mobile. So you're going to rotate out to that internal rotation again, and then bring that foot back to midline. We're going to take 3 more. Open out and bring it all the way back in. You're still activating, pulling that knee towards you. Last 2. And bring it back in. And then last one, bringing it all the way out, and we're going to hold here. So finding your end range, take a deep breath in. Exhale, see if you can get a little bit further. We're going to do that again. Inhale. Deepen that rotation. Foot comes further away. And last time, deep breath in. And end range. Go, go, go. Exhale. Rotate as much as you can. And then really slowly pull it back in with control. Don't lose all that opportunity to work your full range of motion. Good. Now we're going to stay with this leg. You're going to extend it up to the ceiling. And then place your hands back down. Externally rotate at the top of the thigh. And then you're going to hook your foot onto your other knee. So we're getting into this figure 4 shape. Now we're going to take that right hand to right knee, and you're going to press that knee away from you into a stretch. So if you feel like you need a deeper stretch, as long as you can keep your tailbone heavy, you can pull that shape in closer. But otherwise, we're just going to chill out here with the foot resting, taking a more passive stretch just to start, and kind of down regulating the nervous system in this position so that we can access our truest end range of motion. And then once we're here, we're going to start activating the hip in this range to then increase the strength and mobility that we have here. So ideally we hold for a couple minutes, but this is kind of an express class. So we're gonna get right into our activation. Take a deep breath. And then on your exhale, I want you to try to push that knee further away from you, but then your knee is gonna push back into your hand. And we're gonna hold that for 5, as much as you can. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, place your hand down, and then you're gonna try to press your knee to the wall without twisting at the pelvis. So if you need to do a big movement to get the knee to move, then you're better off just stabilizing the hips and going taking less range. So press that knee out without moving. We're gonna place that free hand back onto our knee, and we're gonna do that round one more time. You press knee into hand, hand into knee, and holding for 5, 4, 3, full effort, 2, 1. Now full effort the other way. Try to press that knee to the wall and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then slowly ease off. Now we're gonna take a very intentional transition out of this. You're gonna try to pull the foot towards you first to get it off the knee, and then you're gonna stretch that leg out, rotate back to parallel, and place your foot back down. Let's take a little bit of a windshield wiper at the knees here, just to reset before going to the other side. All right, left knee hovers off the wall. Hands are going onto the knee, and you're gonna exhale, pull the knee in, press the knee out with your hands to activate here. We stay engaged as we open that left knee or left foot out to the side, taking us into that internal rotation again. And then you're gonna come all the way back in. And just take note of any differences that you feel between the other side. Bringing that foot slowly back in. Notice if you have less range, or if you feel like you're gonna cramp up a little bit more on this side, or maybe you have more range. Let's take 3 more. We are all asymmetrical human beings, so it's totally normal if you have some imbalances. It's nothing to be judgmental about, but something to maybe give a little bit of extra attention to. We're going to take this last one, bring that foot out as much as you can. Take a breath in. On your exhale, deepen that rotation. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, even more rotation. Let that hip work. 1 more time. Opening it out a little bit more. And then slowly bring it back in. Good. Now going right into that figure 4, you extend that leg out, rotate, and place that foot on your knee. Left hand to left knee. You're going to press it open for a little stretch. We'll hold here for a little bit. And I'm going to take a moment here to talk about cramping. So cramping is what we call a neurological immaturity. All it means is that your muscle doesn't quite have the communication with the brain to contract properly. So if it's a tolerable cramp, it's something that maybe you can work through. But if it keeps happening and it's super painful, then we may need to back off, address it somewhere else, and then progress ourselves back into that position. But if you are able to work through it, then it's a good sign that you're probably going to then increase that range of motion later on. All right, taking 1 more breath here. Finding that end range stretch. And then we're gonna get into our activation. Deep breath in. Try to push that knee away from you, lock that elbow in place, and then press your knee into your hand. And we hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let that hand come down and press that knee to the wall, again, without shifting your hips. No twisting, no hiking. You just press. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring your hand back onto your knee. Activate again for 5, pulling that knee towards your chest. 4, 3, creating a good amount of effort in the hip. 2, 1, and then press that knee towards the wall for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ease off. Remember, we're going to slowly come out of this. So try to pull the foot off the knee first, bringing the leg towards your chest. Stretch your leg up to the ceiling, rotate back to center, place that foot all the way back down. One more windshield wiper here. And then we're going to roll over to one side so that you can come all the way up to sitting. All right, last exercise here. We're sitting in a butterfly, soles of the feet are together, knees are wide. If you need to prop up a little bit, either like on a block or maybe a stack of books, if you need a little bit more ease in the hips, go ahead and find whatever prop you need. So a little bit more activation here. It's going to be a little more intensified. Now, thinking more of a long spine rather than rounding forward, we want to think anterior tilt. So that means we have a slight arch in the back and we're going to hinge forward with a flat back, staying in neutral, and just find, again, whatever end range that you have. And we're going to pull the knees up so that they meet the elbows. And you're going to press elbows down into the knees, knees up into the elbows, and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now press those knees into the floor without rounding your spine. Go as far as you can. Find that effort in the hips and go for 3, 2, 1. Ease off. Now, maybe you find a little bit more end range, but only if you can keep that spine long. Okay, we're going to do one more round like this, activating the hips, elbows to knees, knees to elbows for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then drive those knees down into the floor without rounding your back. 3, 2, 1. Good. Now let's just walk forward and round your spine this time. Take a little moment here, drop your head. And then we're going to slowly roll back up, stacking the spine all the way up. All right, you made it. Good job. Make sure to check out our shoulder mobility video as well, and have a wonderful rest of your day.